Welcome, people. It's Q from Q'd Up Productions, and I'm back here again trying out this live thing. We are going to get it right, I think. We actually might be doing pretty good this time. I might have figured some things out. Um, tell you what, there's some definitely a lot of videos out there, some helpful, some not so helpful. Okay. What we're going to talk about today is the series As Promised. We're going to talk about this how to keep things simple, how to keep the production simple, which is going to make us some very simple tracks, simple but effective, leaving room for the artist. And I think the most major takeaway from all of this, you'll probably hear me say it in every single stream that I have, is that we got to remember that the most important instrument is the artist. The artist is the most important thing for us to pay attention to. So hopefully my stream is coming through well. Um, and be sure to like and subscribe. I'm like I said, I'm trying to get some things going in the live realm. Trying to get that established and trying to get the settings right, man. It's just crazy. So but we'll get it. We'll get it. All right. So, what we got today is I have a very simple track. Something I only want to use like four instruments, and then of course a bass and then the drums. That's what I'm striving for. Just to keep things very simplistic. So. I'm not really sure if you can count this as a track, but something that I like to do, depending on the type of beat that I'm trying to make, is I have some sort of ambience or some sort of mood going, right? So here's what I chose for this particular track. It's just a simple sound. I believe I got it from Alchemy. And I'm in Logic Pro, by the way. So just a simple sound. I keep it low, keep it in the background. Okay, so that's what the ambience is. And the whole point of that is just to kind of generate a mood, just to get a mood and a flow going. And, you can figure out what tempo you want, what type of feel you're going for. You're in your studio, you got the lights dim or you got the neon lights pumping, however you rock, you know what I mean? And, you just get it going that way. Okay. So next, what I started with on this one after I did that is I did the drums. Okay, drums, very simple, nothing extravagant. Just a simple, nothing hard at all. And I just added an extra hat just to kind of give it a little bit of bounce toward, in the verses and other spots. So nothing extravagant, right? So when we're doing something simplistic, if we're trying to go for a very simplistic beat, you know, as I stated in that very first stream that I did, was I found myself making beats, trying to compete with producers, right? Like you hear things, I remember when I first heard Dr. Dre, when he did the Compton CD or the Compton album. I mean, the production on it was crazy. So, you have the temptation and want to go in and try to figure out how he did all these things. And he had a lot of things going on, but he still managed to have his artist sit in a very nice space to where everything just fit. So I think that was the part that I was missing, was trying to figure that out. And it doesn't matter how long you've been in this game, it's always something that you can learn, always somebody that you can learn from. So I had to really, get in, dig deep, and just figure out why I wasn't getting the sound that I was looking for. And I don't know if anybody out there is going through that same problem, but that's, kind of what I had going on. Um, but in the long term, I found out, I started really listening to music. And if you are into producing, which I'm sure most people who would look at this stream are, you find yourself studying music a little bit deeper, or you should be. When you listen to music, sometimes as a producer, you don't want to listen to it just for the enjoyment of the song, meaning that, you're not just want to sit around and want to dance to it, or it makes you want to drink or something like that. You want to figure out what's the mood of the music, what's making it work the way it works. Um, what type of bounce does it have? Where do they have the kick? Where do they have the snare? And, going into analyzing those tracks and things like that, and even trying to remake them really works. I never understood the concept of sheet music until I've heard a few people when I was in school talking about sheet music and why they played it. I just didn't understand why, especially if I'm not a singer, why do I need to cover somebody's song and trying to recreate everything? But when I went to school for music, which it was a very different process. But going to school for music, they make you actually redo music. We have to take music in some sort of fashion. Uh, I think I was doing some orchestral stuff at that particular time in school, and I had to do things from the Lord of the Rings. We had to go in, listen, and analyze the music, and we had to take sheet music and transfer it over to MIDI, and had to do make sure it had realism and putting the vibratos in and the timbres of the strings. I mean, we had to go in and do all of that, and I didn't really understand it at the time. I thought it was just kind of busy work to do, but then I started doing some orchestral stuff, and then it put it in perspective. It was trying to teach me realism. And as long as I followed what the sheet music had, because sheet music shows crescendos and as things go down and as things rise up within what's supposed to be the mix or the orchestration of it, it's following the sheet music. You know what I mean? And I never knew that at first. And they give you the books that you need, and when you go through those, you see all throughout the book it has all these things that you can go in and follow and recreate and stuff like that. And then I would take some of those things and then drop some hip hop drums in it. Hey, that was something to something to hear. But anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is that there's a lot of different ways that you can learn. Some people don't want to go the sheet music route. They don't want to go the analyzation route because they think that it may influence what they put out. You know what I mean? And I guess you can understand that, but um, I don't know. I'm more of a visual learner in a lot of ways, more so than just trying to read things. I have to do them, and plus it's fun too. I mean, you get to see what scales they use and things like that to get a certain feeling. So, but again, not really a music theory tutorial or anything like that, but I digress. I'm back. All right, so I went in and added those drums, kept everything very simple, and then of course the bass is a very simple bass line, right? So here is really all that I did, other than the ambience. Then I added, I think, the E piano, and that was this. Oh, overload. You don't like that. Okay. Let's see here. Let's take this off. Take that off. And let's check some buffer, man. Sometimes what I'm finding is that when I stream, I have to increase this buffer size. So hopefully this won't kick me off. Let's see. Let's see. It says it's not enough video to maintain a smooth stream. Hopefully you stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. All right. So, I don't think that it stopped. Come on. Okay, no, we want to ignore that. Bummer. The struggle stream is real. Ah, okay. I might have to go in and figure out what's going on here and come back on. I ask that you please bear with me. It does not look like